cry of total terror.
Good evening, everybody, and welcome to our Halloween special for the year. I'm Elijah Henderson from Cryptid Studies Institute.
And I am Gabrielle Henderson from Cryptid Studies Institute, and we are on location at Land Between the Lakes.
We're going to a specific area known as Twin Lakes. Never been there before for much of an outing before. We sat there one evening and seen some eye shine, but other than that, haven't really done anything, but we're going to see if we can rustle up anything for y'all, and if we don't get anything whatsoever, hopefully we'll at least shoot a fun video for you that you can watch, and we can sort of celebrate the fall season and whatnot. It's finally cool out. It's frosted here, so supposedly there are no ticks around at the moment, which that's great. That's wonderful.
Bugs have finally returned to hell from where they belong.
Except for the relaxing ones you hear in the distance. Just I guess the bitey ones, I don't know. Mosquitoes might still be around, but anyway, we're going to get back on the road in just a minute and see what we can come up with. What do you think, Gabby?
I hope we see or hear something. I hope something makes this trip worth it because I am tired and my legs hurt after work. Corn dogs were on sale for 50 cents at Sonic all day and everybody wanted one.
She works at Sonic,
or
by
25.
the way. Not everybody knows that. And we're kind of tired. It's fairly close to midnight. We promise nothing in terms of activity other than we'll try to make this a good video.
Let's get on the road.
Alright, cool. Get in the car. Alright, gonna turn down the Bee Gees there. We're on the road now.
And keep your eyes peeled, you don't know what you might see. I'm not just talking about creatures. There's a very strange amount of deer out running the roads tonight. I've even seen a skunk. So keep your eyes peeled, you might even see regular wildlife.
While I was... I think that was my turn. Wait a minute. Maybe not. While I was out shooting stock footage, there was a skunk, so I was obviously being careful of that situation there. I don't want to come home smelling like a foot or something. And who knows, we may get down there and there's somebody there already. I don't know.
And then we'll need a plan B, which we don't actually have right now.
Plan B is go home and take a nap. If I recall correctly, this goes...
Well, someone's got a camper there.
What, did you see a camper?
Mm-hmm. Like an RV or something.
Oh.
That's why you guys could be playing tricks.
Okay. And we're not going to make too much noise down here because...
Be pity to wake someone up or get them mauled to death by a dog, man.
Indeed.
Oh wow, look at that moon though.
Is that the moon? Wow.
That's beautiful. A creepy blood moon on Halloween.
Okay, we are turning around. It's really hard to know where you're going tonight because it's so dark out here tonight.
It doesn't look like it did last time. I mean, it is the same place, but It's dark, so you can't see where we're going, exactly how to get to that lakefront we were at last time, you know? Because it's just dark, you can't see where the turn is.
We've been having a little bit of car trouble, so I want to be very careful about what turns and roads we could go down, because we got stuck here one night and had to have some fellow friends and researchers come pull us out.
I think the lakefront was more down that way, maybe.
I don't think so.
Because I know the restroom was up top of a hill and we had to walk a little more downward. It's just so dark, it's hard to see exactly where it was. But as there are other people camping here, we don't want to disturb them, and it's very late.
I do want to point out, though, there are people here. We haven't seen any actual cars on the road, but there are people down here in some motorhomes or travel trailers, either one. Well, golly. So, I couldn't quite find my way back to where we originally went at Twin Lakes, and there were people around anyway, so we hit the trace and we took a trip to where the family was said to have been attacked. But it proved to be very quiet over there, so we hit the road again, choosing Nickel Cemetery instead. Alright, y'all, Twin Lakes didn't really work out. There's people down there, and the spot that we had gone to, couldn't really find our way back to it. Stand close to the car for a minute, Gab.
I keep hearing footsteps over there or something.
Go ahead and sit back in the car for a minute, Gab. I won't swear there's anything, but I just want to err on the side of caution, you know? I think there's some... I think there's some deer in the field across from us. Anyway, this is... I think Nickel Branch Cemetery. This one is alongside of the road. This is just like right along the trace, this one. I can hear rustling off in this wood line here. I know there's a lot of animals out tonight. There's been a lot of deer. Could even be the leaves falling and hitting the branches. There is a place I was told. Well, actually, let me go back on that. I was told publicly on Facebook in a random Land Between the Lakes group that there is either a trailhead opening or it's a place by the cemetery, I think close to, or either by a trail opening or by a cemetery close to the North Welcome Station, which is where we are. where dogmen are often seen in the entrance of that trail, and the person that posted it has seen it 2 or so times. Is it this spot? I have no idea, but I ain't gonna go too far from the car and leave Gabby. Don't worry, y'all. I'm just going right over here. Gabby is my main priority when I'm out here. Oh, and by the way, yes, we're at a cemetery. No, we're not ghost hunting. I don't do that. I don't believe in ghosts as such. I believe in demonic spirits impersonating spirits of the dead. And I do not fool with that. Let's see here. They lock this thing up at night. Very basic lock. Maybe we won't. We may or may not get activity tonight. But in any case, maybe we can treat this as almost a nighttime Land Between the Lakes tour of sorts. So, let's try to find a new spot. Okay, y'all, we are at our next stop for the night. This, you can't really quite tell from here because it's so dark. You can kind of see the water a little bit. This should be the area where the gentleman, or the couple, was killed in 1979 by a dogman creature. And that was told about in Mr. Jody Cook's video, his documentary on Land Between the Lakes. I'm sorry, I can't remember the name of it right now. But that should be right off toward that direction where it happened. You can't see it, I can. You can see I can see the reflection on the water, and you can see the landmass over there. All this is extremely close to where the family got attacked in 1982. Actually, most of these sites are really close to each other. By the way, we're going to treat y'all to some silent dog whistling a little bit, see if that stirs anything up. There's Gabby.
What?
Oh, I was just telling these fine folks there's Gabby.
Hello, fine folks. It is a beautiful evening.
Yeah, it really is. Very, very dark out, though. From where we are at the moment, I don't see the moon. We got out of a really cold snap fairly recently here in Clarksville, Tennessee, which is about 40-50 minutes from here. Well, from the entrance of the park.
And then we had a day in the 80s last week.
Yeah, it was in the 20s, y'all.
We don't know what we're going to get in Tennessee.
You never know what you're going to get in Tennessee. Gabrielle, my dear, do you want to climb back in and try a little call blasting out into that water?
I'm fine by me.
See if we can get anything to echo and maybe respond. A bunch of coyotes have started up. Man, was that relaxing sounding? Now, I don't know if y'all can hear this or not. Let's see. That sounds almost exactly like those sounds we've got recorded up here.
Well, it seems like our dude has clammed up.
You know what that tells me?
What?
I think that may have been coming in the direction of Hotel California area.
Really?
Yeah, so there was probably something over in there tonight.
Could be.
If that was something. Do it again?
Yeah, I do.
That's, I think, on the road ahead of us. Get. Quit that for a little bit. That's in the woods in front of us.
Shall I drive down?
So let's talk about those sounds for a moment. On May 26, 2021, we uploaded a video full of sounds that we suspect are Dogman creatures. It featured a sound for Dogman Encounters Radio that was shared by an Irish gentleman being interviewed by Vic. He told Vic that him and 11 other gentlemen were on vacation in the USA, if I remember correctly, and they actually seen a Dogman, and they recorded the howls outside their RV. That howl is the same creature we've recorded in LBL and Indian Mound, Tennessee, which is about 27 minutes from the park, from the opening of the trace. Whatever we heard on Halloween night sounded almost identical to the collection of sounds in the video. I'm not saying what we heard was a Dogman, and I can't 100% guarantee the video sounds, as I've never seen one, but they were all very similar in nature. In fact, some of those sounds were coming from over in the direction of DeMumbers Bay, Hotel California area, where it's supposed to be a bit of a hotspot area. But let's go down the rabbit hole a little bit deeper. There's a video online by Gregory Champy. It was uploaded 10 years ago, and their audio of the Beast of LBL howls are identical to ours and the ones on Vic's video. Miss Linda Godfrey, who pioneered Dogman research with her studies on the Beast of Bray Road, commented that those sounds were definitely from a Dogman. And also, an interesting comment that was shared to me concerning the first sound in the video, which is Vic's audio, is, "My gosh, this is what they sound like. Heard it with my own ears. This was sobering for me personally. Thought I would never hear it again, but yep, that first one on this recording was exactly what I heard." And she went on to describe to me in a later comment that she has had Bigfoot and Dogman activity on her property. And I hope to actually interview her for the show or in a private setting at some point. Friends, they're absolutely coyote in the LBL. We've heard an abundance of them. I'm not contesting against that at all. And there were absolutely coyotes Halloween night. But there definitely seemed to be something else, whatever it was, howling with them throughout the night. Okay, so we're parked here at the North Welcome Station. We're taking a little bit of break. We brought some snack with us, so we're taking a little bit of snack break, use the bathroom break, whatnot. Not saying it was, obviously, but if, in fact, that was something hollering, then it might be important for us to chronicle all of the conditions tonight. It's not a full moon. It's only a,
I would say it's about a half moon. It was blood red earlier, actually.
Blood red half moon. About probably 50 degrees.
50, 60 degrees, somewhere thereabouts.
So
it's not like there's a lot of stars, but I wouldn't exactly call it super cloudy either.
Again, not swearing that was anything. But if it was, this might be able to help us determine the proper nights to come out here and do this kind of research, It's extremely, extremely dark tonight. You can't see in front of you really at all. And one thing we noticed when we drove in, there's a lot of deer along the road that, Anyway, what we were saying when we were driving in on the way through, there was just a multitude of deer just hanging by the road, and I don't know if that would mean that there's something off in the woods they're trying to avoid, but there was a plethora out along the roads tonight.
We've seen so many. It was almost unsafe driving conditions. There were so many.
We'll probably try to hit a couple other locations before we close this video up. I did snag this up at the store, this abomination.
He loves trying these disgusting Mountain Dew flavors every year when they come out with something new, some new horrific creation.
Fruitcake flavored Mountain Dew. Now, perhaps it's not a great idea for me to drink this abomination. I've been having a lot of stomach trouble today. Not going to go into detail about that, but been having a lot of trouble down south, and I was having some concerns about coming down here tonight, and even had to stop at Walmart and pick me up some good old Pepto-Bismol, But I'm gonna give this crazy thing a try. Because that's why y'all tuned in. You didn't tune in to see Dogman and Bigfoot. You tuned in to see the newest Mountain Dew flavor. It smells like the other ones.
What, over sugared chemicals?
I can confirm, from my point of view, tastes in similitude to kind of like a jelly bean or a fruit flavored candy, so there's definitely...
Mountain Dew should not taste like a jelly bean or a fruit flavored candy. That is horrifying.
They have definitely succeeded in their artificial fruit flavor. It says fruitcake flavor. I can't vouch for the cake portion as I have never eaten fruitcake, but there is a fruity presence in this bottle. While we're here, before we left, we wanted to show you all this at nighttime. This is the Great Western Furnace, built in 1854. Brown iron ore came from shallow deposits about 2 miles north. Pig iron was shipped by river or hauled to rolling mills to the east. It closed in 1856 due to lack of ore into a slave insurrection by the furnace crew. It was built of limestone from the surrounding hills. Let's go and check her out. This lighting, it kind of looks like that Bohemian Grove owl. If you're native to this area, I'm sure you've seen this before, but there's a lot of people watching this that have never seen this before and probably get a kick out of it. So, you know, we thought we'd take a second and show it off. Backside over there. We're actually across from the elk and bison prairie. Not the one that's about halfway through LBL. This is the free elk and bison prairie. No, my mistake. This is the bison prairie. I don't know if you can see ever the elk in this area, but a lot of times you'll drive through the area and there are buffalo in this field off to the left here. Danger: for your own safety, do not climb on structure. Duly noted. Yeah, but that's the furnace there, the coke oven. Correct me if I'm wrong, Gab, because I cannot remember for sure. Have there been stories of the baby buffalo disappearing up here?
That seems vaguely familiar, but I can't confirm that.
Seems like Mr. Kumbo Baker may have talked about buffalo disappearing from up here, but yeah, don't quote us on that. This area is further toward the south, so when you get toward the south, that's more of your Bigfoot territory there.
Oh, look, there's another marker.
Let's see. Charcoal, hematite ore, and limestone needed to make iron were carted by hand over the bridge and dumped into the ore box. Great Western Furnace was 10 feet wide but 40 feet high inside. Temperatures in the ore box reached 3,000 degrees Fahrenheit. Once the ore was melted, a plug was removed at the bottom of the ore box and the molten iron flowed into sand molds to cool. Steam pumps powered a set of bellows that provided the blast of air needed for the fire to reach 3,000 degrees, hot enough to melt the ore. So, one more thing I wanted to show y'all before we finished up here for the night. This house here belonged, he's unfortunately passed away now, it belonged to the last man living here in Land Between the Lakes. Gabby, do you want to tell them about that a little bit?
Yes. This home once belonged to a gentleman by the name of Cleo Griffin. He was a World War II veteran. And most of you know the history of Land Between the Lakes. It was taken by eminent domain to become a state park. All the residents of the community were forced to move. Well, Mr. Griffin refused to move. Every time he would be moved out, he would move right back in. He'd walk the whole 15 miles back to move back into his childhood home that was once owned by his parents. Eventually, they finally let him stay and didn't move him out, even though he had no electricity, telephone, or running water. His family would even have to bring him bottled water and groceries, and he ended up living here until 1989 when he became ill and eventually moved into a nursing home. But it's a great testament to someone who loved their home truly and didn't want to leave it.
It absolutely is.
And I understand he's buried not far from here.
We're not going to actually go up there and mess around with it. As you can see, there's a fence around it. And let's see if this will show up on here. There, it's actually under surveillance, and it's blurry. Just take my word for it. It's under surveillance, so we're going to yeah, we're not gonna mess with it. But we were close by. It's like right the road right after the great furnace back there, so I figured I'd show y'all. Alright, well, this will conclude our Halloween special, which you could argue the word special is not very accurate, but we wanted to do something interesting for the channel.
We hope you enjoyed it.
Heard those interesting calls. Maybe it was something, maybe it was not.
Saw a few interesting things. The coke oven was pretty cool, and the last resident of LBL was nice.
I kept my word to you. I gave you basically a nighttime tour of Land Between the Lakes. And I wanted to conclude things tonight with a strange encounter from one of my favorite creepy authors, so to speak, C.B. Colby. This book comes from World's Best True Ghost Stories. He's a great author. Strangely enough, one of my favorite books of all time, full of supposed to be true stories in it. And I'm going to find a good one here. Let's see, where is it? We're going to conclude this night with a fairly creepy one, but it's pretty good. The Old Man of the Woods. Presque Isle, Maine, one of the most remote spots in the United States, is perhaps for this reason the setting for many peculiar legends and tales. A resident of Presque Isle reported the following weird incident to me during World War II. Near where this man's father had lived as a boy, there was a Presque Isle family with 2 children, a boy and a girl. The youngsters had no friends to play with in the deserted area, and so had to invent their own games and entertainment. They often took walks in the nearby woods. One day they began to talk about a nice old man who lived in a cabin back over the hills. At first the parents were concerned, but no one knew of any such man, nor could his cabin be found. They decided he had been dreamed up by the children to make for their lack of real friends, so they didn't give the matter any thought. As time went on, the children began to report some things the old man said would happen to the local residents, their livestock and their crops. Strangely enough, almost all these dire events took place. People lost their crops, their livestock died, and folks were taken sick just as the children's newfound friend had said they would. The parents of the youngsters didn't approve of the morbid interest in death and destruction that their children were displaying. The children were refused permission to visit the woods anymore, but they still sneaked away whenever they could. Finally, the parents delivered an ultimatum. Either the children would bring the old man home to meet them, or they would be forbidden to see him again. The boy and girl said they would invite him, but they were not sure he would come. Off they went into the woods. The parents laughingly waited, assuming there was no such person at all. But marveling at how the children could have gone off so full of confidence, they soon found out. A half hour later, the children returned. A tall, bearded man, obviously very old, but with a strong, active stride, was with them. He was dressed strangely in a suit of black material that had twinkling glints of gold here and there. His battered hat, while old, appeared to be made of some special black fur felt. His beard was pure white, and his blue eyes were piercing. He greeted the parents pleasantly, and soon they were reassured that their children had indeed found an interesting and unusual friend. After staying a while, the old man bade them farewell, and asked if the children could walk back with him to the edge of the woods to say goodbye. The parents agreed, and off the three started, the man holding the youngsters by their hands. As they walked towards the sunset, the parents were startled to see that only the children cast any shadows. There was none for the bearded man between them. Neither the old man nor the children were ever seen again. And that is a story from the great C.B. Colby. And with that, hope y'all have had a great fall season as we begin to move into the next phase of the year. You know, the Christmas time, Thanksgiving theme of the year, the colder months. And may God be with you and keep you. Gab, would you like to close us up with any comments?
I hope you guys enjoyed the night. We had a good time making it. We hope you guys have a good time watching it. We'll see you again soon.
Y'all have a good night. We love y'all. This video was supposed to be uploaded a day or two after Halloween, but we wanted a little bit more footage for the video. So, after we concluded the night investigation on Halloween, we waited a week or two, and we went and researched in Indian Mound, Tennessee, where the braying beast of Indian Mound was filmed. So we went on a night outing there. As an additional tidbit of interesting footage, we thought we'd take you on a bit of a tour of a place here in Clarksville, Tennessee. So for the 228th anniversary of what is the oldest building in Clarksville, Tennessee, where I live, Sevier Station, they opened up the building and gave a demonstration of tools and equipment you might find in the 17 or 1800s, and they let people tour Sevier Station and get a look inside. Now, the area is interesting because of a gentleman named Valentine Sevier. A famous account of Mr. Valentine is that he was attacked, him and his neighbors, by about 40 Native Americans, and the attack resulted in the loss of his neighbor, the neighbor's family, along with his own son Joseph, his daughter Rebecca, who had been scalped, however she lived, and even a baby was unfortunately thrown into a fireplace. It was a very grisly attack, but for either the first time in so many years it's been open to the public, or for the first time in 228 years it's been open to the public. As the story goes, Mr. Sevier defended himself with a blunderbuss, and after he ran out of ammunition, he crushed up glass and bended spoons and stuck it into the end of this blunderbuss so he'd have some way to defend himself. Anyway, though, he survived the attack. Supposedly this was the house where the attack happened, but I've also been told that it was not the particular house where the attack happened, rather than it was another building that was on the same property where it happened. How do we know if this is the one where...
We don't know for sure. We know it's most likely part of Sevier settlement, but we don't know for sure if this was his home or not. Here, put your phone down a minute.
Like, this is a British Dragoon pistol of the era, and it is 62 caliber. So, it has no sights on it, so for me to you, it's a great weapon. Other than that, it's a club. You weren't going to hit anybody over 25 yards with this thing. And if that, it was just shoot or walk. But it was a good enclosed weapon for close combat. Worked very well for that. It's a hawk. So this was your safety. That's it. Safety at that point in time was a matter of opinion. Noise in the other one. I'm not going to put quite as much powder in this one, but
What do you think?
Oh, definitely. Hello, Gabrielle Henderson here with Cryptid Studies Institute. We'll start again. Your stupid hand was in the way. Hi,
Oh, I'm keeping that in there.
Gabrielle Henderson with Cryptid Studies Institute. We are here on set of Braying Beast of Indian Mound on an evening time investigation. It is very cold tonight. You may notice this is included in our Halloween special. Today is not Halloween. Today is November 12th, but our Halloween footage was a little bit short, so we thought that some additional footage for our video as an extra add-on might be interesting for you guys, so we're going to see what we can find and hope we find some cool to show y'all.
Welcome to the Cryptid Studies Institute Thanksgiving special. I hope you gobble till you wobble. Where we're at tonight, like she said, we're where the Braying Beast of Indian Mound was filmed. It is dark as pitch out here tonight. It's cold. It's about 35 degrees. That about sound right, Gav?
34 with a real feel of 27, and we are freezing.
It looks like there's actually a couple of spitting out a little bit of snow every now and again. So it's cold tonight, y'all. I've got a t-shirt on. I've got a thermal shirt on, a jacket, and a big coat on top of that, a scarf, gloves, and hat. And I look pudgy as all get out.
Yeah, it's the clothes that are doing that.
It's definitely the clothes.
The wind's picking up here.
Yeah. I'm going to flip this camera around a little bit and take it off of night shot. And we're going to walk around a little bit. It's really cold, so we don't promise anything out of tonight. I don't know anything's going to be out. Still a little early, too, but
If anything else, you guys can enjoy seeing us turn into popsicles.
yeah, you can have fun with that. So, what'd you trip on?
A spit.
Let's see here. We're just gonna do a bit of walking around. There's woods all over the place. My focus is a little bit. Let's see, come on. Focus. Auto. Okay, cool. Yeah, Lewis and Beatrice, we came up and visited with them for a good while before the sun set, and they're actually up inside their house over there.
They don't want to get out in the cold, so they're
No.
up in bed enjoying some TV.
No,
Or
they're
possibly Pinterest.
or YouTube or whatever they're doing, but
Yeah.
they said we were all clear to come out here and walk around, do our thing. And yeah. Let's see here. Can I raise my exposure any? Cool. So let's see here, y'all. Lewis was telling me that I think he said a few days ago they were hearing a couple unusual noises out here. Let's walk into these woods here. Be careful going up this hillside, Gab. Let's see here. We showed this on the Braying Beast of Indian Mound video, but I'm going to show y'all again. I don't know that we actually spoke about it more than just showed a clip of it, but here's a big old X that's right up on there, right up on the edge of their driveway here. And 2 cedar trees overlaid like that. Over in this direction, in the direction of Gabby, there's a bunch of cedar trees that are pushed down. They're pushed down in random directions. So it's not like as a windstorm came and blew them all down, because they're not in one direction. They're all in a multitude of directions. Like something came through, got real mad, and pushed them all down. There's something right here. I don't know if that's storm damage or not. It's still green. Kind of looks, huh?
Is that fresh?
I think it's fresh because it's still green. I don't see anything that could have fallen on top of it. That's kind of interesting. You never know, it could have been something natural, like a wind, the wind taking it down. But I do notice over in the woods there's another one of them right there. You can see it just a little bit. And there's a cedar tree leaning over there right there. So did something come back through and start? Did you hear that?
I hear something, but I can't tell. It's not dogs.
Hear something in the distance, but we're not sure if it's dogs or not.
I think it's dogs.
And I'm sorry if we're not able to.
Away.
I'm sorry if we're not able to capture the best audio tonight. I was more relaxed with this recording than I should be, and I left the microphone at home. I just grabbed the camera. That whole thing we shot at Fort Defiance earlier in the day, I forgot my SD card at home and I had to film it with my phone, so.
It's true, people. He did it.
It's true. Real creepy over here. Let's see here. Let's have a gander at this one. Now this one's a little older. Or it looks to be. Dead leaves and everything. Yeah, no green leaves on this one like that were on the other one. But yeah, this is down too. Kinda looks like a lot down though. There's another cedar tree leaning this way.
I'm also definitely smelling cedar too. I think if I could smell
Another one
it,
leaning
probably
over that
come
way.
up there.
There's I may be wrong now, but it looks like a lot of new cedar trees pushed in different directions over here.
It has been a while since we walk around down here though.
We don't usually walk around over too much in the actual woods over here. I tell you what, Gab, let's go ahead and walk down the trail.
Okay.
Last time we were here, we filmed it, but we didn't post it because, you know, It wasn't enough to really put in a video. We smelled like a strong ammonia smell. Gab, over this way. But it was a really strong ammonia smell. Why don't you walk in front of me, Gab? And we got to a point where, I mean, you couldn't hardly stand what you were smelling.
I think I, in fact, had to cover my nose.
Yeah. You know,
Look at that, like there's scrapings there. Of course, that could be from a deer.
you know, we're not lost, obviously. But I could see how if somebody was not paying attention, they could easily get lost. Because we walked into a certain point, you know, it's pitch black. And, look, nothing but woods all the way around us. If you weren't paying attention and you walked in so deep, it'd be easy to get lost in darkness like this. Let's see here. I believe that's those X's overlaying each other. Well, y'all, big things have happened for me in the last time. Let's see, I'm going to point this camera. Big things have happened for me since stepped in some thorns. Since last video I uploaded, some pretty good news for me. I was working at Lowe's in Clarksville, Tennessee, and well, I got a new job the other day. It pays better. It's construction. It seems like it's going to be pretty promising for me, so I'm excited. And the nature of the job, it's working out well for Gabby too. So she's pretty happy. I think it's going to mean good things for our future. Unfortunately, the hours are fairly long, so I will have to either work harder to bring content or things will slow down, which I hope not. I'm going to try to...
On the other hand, you actually have weekends off now, so you might have more opportunity to go out and film content on the other end of the spectrum.
For the time being, I'm off on Saturdays and Sundays. Give something?
No, I just always like to watch my back to make sure everything's safe.
Oh, I got you. There's a red reflector down that way that always kind of gets you for a second. Oh, it's a red eye looking at you. One of my best friends in the world, whenever he's out in the field, it's so funny. He'll always see eye shine. So he'll be like, "Oh, I saw eye shine." Love that guy to death. He's awesome.
There is a Smokey the Bear stand between the lakes, gets him and gets us every time. We'll definitely give him a pass on that one, though, because that thing does it so scary.
That thing's creepy. If you've driven through land between the lakes, you know what I'm talking about. Because you've seen... I'm sure it's gotten you too. You've seen the reflectors for eyes they give it. Because you see something out of the darkness, something bipedal with reflectors right in the middle of the road. You're like, holy crap, what is that? But, yeah, to go back to what we were talking about, you can't hardly see my face. You can see a nose in this darkness. So, stare at my nose, everybody. I'm going to try to get more interesting things on the channel. We got a gentleman who told us he's seen a river monster, him and his friends, in I think it was Illinois or Indiana. But I've got that recorded. I just have to go through and cut it and get it out for everybody, so you can see it. There we go. That's a little bit better. And then I got another gentleman who has some Bigfoot stories I need to interview sooner rather than later. But so I want to show y'all something while we're down here. Where we're at, me and my dad, we made a geodesic dome. And if you're not aware what that is, you might just want to look up the term so you can actually see a picture of it. Don't step in that trench there, Gab. But basically it's a large version of one of those jungle gym domes that they have on playgrounds. But you can actually make them into like a livable home. So right where I'm standing,
Sure, is it still here?
yep, right around where I'm standing is where a big old dome would have been. And it was pretty impressively sized too, I tell you what. We'd come out here and we had a big old welder's tarp over the top of it. And we'd camp inside of it. Heard some unusual things while we were down here in this thing. You reclaiming that old chair, Gib?
I don't know. I'm seeing if it's still any good.
I don't know, dude. That thing's been...
It'll just let it be a loss. It has dry rotted for years.
Oh my, look at all this stuff. Our dome got damaged and sat there for a good while, so I gotta repair it. Oh yeah, we heard many a strange thing down here. I used to have recordings of these very unusual howls that me and my dad got down here. It was a camping trip, just me and him, but something was just howling, something terrible, and it was on a pretty awful recorder that I had it. It was basically that if the AAA batteries fell out of it, you lost all the data in it. So I think that's what happened. Ironically, though, from something I was seeing recently, I think that recorder may be somewhat valuable and ghost hunters like to use it. But y'all know how I feel about ghost hunting. Golly.
It's still up on it. I remember so many times over the years one or the other to try to knock it down, and it's still here.
No, the one you're looking at's right here. So this dead tree was over by the, camping area. And we'd come over, give it a few good kicks.
Still ain't all the way down.
No, not all the way down. But we'd give it a few good kicks and see if we could get it down. We'd do tree knocks off this thing.
A lot of good memories here.
Yes, there are. I think squatching tonight's going to be a bit of a boondoggle. Gab, give me a solid. Let me swap with you, because the camera's having a bit of difficulty. Yeah, this one's a little bit brighter for the camera. There's another area we're thinking about going to tonight called Cross Creeks. I don't know. I'm kind of tired and Gab's not feeling too well. So maybe we'll just be grateful for what we get tonight. Gab, you want to try a tree knock or just sit and listen?
It's up to you. Things have been pretty silent as it is. You can try something different and try a tree rock, see if that'll prime the pump at all.
Alright. in conclusion of this Halloween experience. I truly hope you enjoyed it, even with the small amount of footage that we had. We tried to do a good one for you. And to finish this off, beware the moon, stay off the moors. Thank you and good night.